Mr. President, in just 5 days, the world will mark the 106th anniversary of the beginning of the Armenian Genocide, the systematic murder and displacement of 1.5 million Armenian women, men, and children by the Ottoman Empire from 1915 to 1923. This will be the first April 24th of your presidency and the first opportunity to follow through on your promise to recognize the genocide and your decades of leadership on this issue. On behalf of hundreds of thousands of Armenian Americans, the children and grandchildren, great-grandchildren of genocide survivors, I ask you, keep that promise. Recognize the Armenian genocide. The facts of the genocide are not in serious dispute. They were recorded in real time by American diplomats who lacked a name for the barbaric and systematic extermination of the Armenian people, but knew that it was without precedent in human history. Millions of Armenians were beaten, raped, killed, and marched across deserts by the Ottoman Empire. From the blood and rubble, the Armenian people survived. Tens of thousands of orphaned children owe their lives to the generosity of Americans who created the Near East Relief Foundation. Those children and their descendants crossed the ocean to build lives in Los Angeles and across the nation. You know these facts well, and you have spoken about them directly, including as a candidate for president. As president, it is now in your power to help right decades of denial, and in so doing, give meaning to your statement last year when you acknowledged the genocide and said, silence is complicity. As a candidate, and now as president, you have spoken of your commitment to human rights. You have spoken of an America who leads not by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. If that principle is to have meaning, we cannot waver from it just because it may be inconvenient. The word genocide is significant because genocide is not a problem of the past. It is a problem of today, including in Xinjiang, where Uyghurs face a relentless campaign by the Chinese Communist Party to wipe out their culture. And it is a danger today in Artsakh, where Turkey assisted Azerbaijan in making war on the Armenians again, and in so doing, threaten another potential genocide. What a comfort it would be to the perpetrators of crimes against humanity in the present day if the most powerful nation on earth could be cowed into silence about the events of a century ago. In recognizing the genocide, you'll be joining both the House and the Senate, which voted overwhelmingly in 2019 to do so. Mr. President, we must not resort to euphemisms or half-truths. The murder of 1.5 million Armenians was an atrocity that is surely true, but it was more than that. The act of seeking to destroy a people and a culture is a different kind of evil, and it was not until Raphael Lemkin coined the term genocide that we had a word to describe it. Millions of Armenians in Yerevan and across the world, tens of thousands of my constituents, Mr. President, will look to you later this week to see if you will join the leaders in France, Germany, the European Union, the Vatican, and in 49 states in recognizing the genocide. It is my deepest wish that you will speak the truth in all of its horror and recognize the Armenian genocide. I yield back.
The chair now recognizes the gentleman from Illinois, Mr. Davis, for 5 minutes.
Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today at a bittersweet time in my career here in Congress because it's a time I get to bid farewell to somebody who's been with me since day one. And because she has floor privileges, she's sitting behind me right now and is going to be very embarrassed because I'm going to talk about her. As you can see here, this is my longtime Chief of Staff and Staff Director of the House Administration Committee, Jen Dalby, and her daughter, Reagan, standing in the Capitol Rotunda. I first met Jen in Illinois when she was a young intern for the state of Illinois one summer, and little did I know that a few years later, I would be running a campaign for my former boss, Congressman John Shimkus, and I would hire a field office manager who just graduated law school to work out of our Collinsville, Illinois campaign office. And I realized very, very quickly she had opinions of her own. Something in political campaigns sometimes are a little difficult because, you know, as a campaign manager, I wanted to be right all the time. But she always taught me, get this stuff done, get me the information I need so I can do my job.